So what is going on, everybody? Fernando Silva here with another video, and Apple, yes, they had their big announcement, their big keynote with the new Macs and the AirPods and their new voice-only plan for Apple Music, which I thought was kind of a weird one. I'm not 100% sure who the target demographic is for that, but they actually released a bunch of new updates to the developer program. So today we're going to be talking about iPadOS 15.1 RC edition, and Apple actually threw something into iPadOS that was already on iOS 15, but I'm glad it came to iPadOS. But without further ado, let's see exactly what's new and if it's worth upgrading or not. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's hop right into this video, everybody. First off, before we do get started, if you guys are checking out this icon pack, you enjoy it, or the wallpapers, first link in the description below if you guys want to support the channel and ride with these icons, because so far I've been liking this all dark look. But to get right into the video, I actually took a screenshot. As you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I always post a screenshot of exactly what's going on. So here's iPadOS 15.1. We are dealing with 5.07 gigs. And again, the reason we're doing that is because this is the RC edition, which means they're getting everything included. With the beta updates, you only actually get the updates that were missing from before. So that's why the betas get smaller and smaller. And then the RC is basically full-size iPadOS 15.1. So give yourself at least, 8 to 10 gigs if you are going to go with iPadOS 15.1 to make sure it gets installed correctly. And if we go into our settings, and if we go into the About, and check on the software version, as you can see, we now have no more letter at the very end of it, so now we're on 19B74, which means this is it, guys. This is the RC edition. This is the final version that everybody's going to eventually get. I believe we're going to get it on Tuesday of next week, but Apple might actually surprise us and give it to us a lot earlier than we expect, especially with all these new releases that are coming out, because I didn't really expect to get the RC edition today, even though we did have that keynote, which is kind of nice to have. So again, the flagship feature with iPadOS 15.1 is going to be SharePlay is coming to all iOS devices, all iPad, macOS devices. We were supposed to get it with the 15.0 release, but Apple kind of retracted that and recalled that, for lack of a better term, because it just wasn't ready for everybody to use, but it seems to be ready to go, and I'm excited to actually use it. But the number one feature that's an actual tangible feature that we're getting with 15.1, the RC edition, because we didn't get this with the betas. I don't know if people have noticed, but live text through the camera app does not work on your iPad until you have this 15.1 update. So if you guys aren't aware what live text is, it's actually, you pull up the camera, so this was not included in all the iPadOS features. We thought it was going to come to all iPadOS iPads, but it did not. But something that live text does is that it allows you to read the actual text from an image. So you can see that there's like a little bracket building around it. So you let it build that bracket. If I could just hold still there, then you press this button right here to then allow you to actually copy that text. You can copy it. Let's say you want to pull up a quick note. You can actually go right here and paste exactly what you copied from that live text. So before this 15.1 update, you were able to do live text, but only through the actual photo application, so the photo library. So for instance, you can see that this is a thumbnail from a previous video. You were allowed to actually press that button and then double tap here and then copy. But now, like I showed you, we're able to pull up the camera app and actually point and shoot to see whatever's around. So you can see, again, let it build its little bracket. Press this little button right here, and then there you go. You can do whatever you need to with this information. So this is good for phone numbers, to find out exactly where you are. If you're at a restaurant, you need to share where you are. And also it's great for QR code read. And it's also great for QR codes. So for QR codes, it's a lot easier to read now because you know exactly where you're going. So I'm glad that Apple did bring in that live text feature. But again, it only works with iPads that have an A12Z chipset or higher. So you need to have at least a 2020 iPad Pro. It'll work with the new iPad mini. It'll work with the new iPad 9th generation. It still works with the iPad Air. You just have to make sure that you have at least an A12Z or higher. So sadly, the 2018 iPad Pros will not be getting the live text feature, at least not directly through the camera application. And again, I'm glad they brought it over because now that iPads are getting a little bit smaller, like the iPad mini, people are more willing to use it as their camera and as a point and shoot, I guess, to get some more information. But in terms of tangible differences, that's really all we're getting. We got live text, SharePlay's coming, and then on the iOS side, we are getting those vaccination passports. But one more thing that I did want to mention is we're going to go through the battery life. So battery life has been a little bit hit or miss, right? So I remember with the last beta, we got a decent amount of battery life. So the best way to analyze battery is go into your last 10 days, go on a day like this, right? We used 100% of my battery on this day. Most of it was YouTube audio, so 2 hours on YouTube. Home and lock screen was open. LumaFusion 33 minutes took up 16%. You can see it's a 100% day, and I got only 5 hours of screen on time. So again, I'm supposed to be getting anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of screen on time, but we're not getting that right now. But on a day like last Monday, you can see we got 5.5 hours of screen on time with only 75% battery usage. So it really depends on what types of applications you're using, how intense they are, how intensive those tasks are working on the RAM, in the chip, and the battery. So again, on a day like Wednesday, we used almost 100% battery, only got 4 hours of screen on time, because again, we were mostly using LumaFusion, and LumaFusion likes to suck up a lot of power, especially if you're editing in 4K, in 30, and 60, and slow-mo. So the more you add to it, obviously the worse your battery is going to be. But I'm still waiting for the day that I do get that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of battery life, because this is the latest iPad Pro that Apple makes, and the fact that we're only getting 4 hours, 5 hours on here, and this is supposed to be like a good day, we need a little bit more battery, especially if I'm going to be using it long term. Because again, once you start using the Magic Keyboard, that battery life starts draining. I wish there was like an option here that showed you how much more your Magic Keyboard is draining your battery versus it not being on the actual iPad. But those are all the differences. Take advantage of live text as much as you want, because it's going to be a good addition to anybody that's using an iPad, especially if you're using the camera. But let's get out of this view and go to the normal view. So that's pretty much going to do it for this video, everybody. Like you saw, the main flagship feature of 15.1 is Apple SharePlay, and Apple announced that it was supposed to come with 15.0 to all iOS and iPadOS, Mac, pretty much every single Apple device was supposed to get SharePlay, but there was some issues, so with it, so Apple kind of like recalled it, took it away from 15.0, and now they're re-adding it with 15.1, and it should work pretty well. But then they also brought live text, which is a feature that allows you to read text through the Photos application. There was live text on iPadOS 15.1 before this, but it wasn't live text through the actual camera. You actually have to take the picture, and then after the fact, in the Photos app, then you can start to actually look at the actual text. I do think it's a welcome addition, because now that we have smaller iPads that are powerful enough to do this, especially for something like the iPad mini or the iPad Pro 11-inch, people do use that as a camera. So to each their own, live text did come over, and I'm happy it did. But overall, I'm excited for 15.1. The official release should be probably at some point next week on Tuesday to the entire public. And then at that point, everybody's going to be able to SharePlay, watch movies with each other, even though we're physically not together. And then also with iOS 15, vaccination card passports will be on there, which is nice to have. But that's going to do it for this video. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below. Are you guys updating before the regular release? Are you guys part of the developer program, the public developer program? What have you guys seen with iPadOS 15 that maybe I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to new ideas and seeing exactly what's going on over there. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, peace. Also, thumbs up for the new audio game, because it seems to be working pretty well.